In our last video, we really started to embrace life on board our catamaran as we visited some amazing cities and explored stunning coastlines. We sailed hundreds of nautical miles, experienced some great winds, and battled with warranty problems.
In this week's episode, we're picking things up just west of Cartagena as we head along the beautiful Spanish coastline. Everything is perfect, apart from the lack of forecasted wind.
I am incredibly excited this morning because we're currently travelling to La Manga to meet one of my childhood friends since I've known since I was 11. So I am very excited to spend a weekend with a friend from home. But unfortunately there is no wind. We are motoring the last couple of hours just so we can get there and meet her on time. But the one positive is we have an absolutely gorgeous coastline behind me that we are really enjoying this morning. It's absolutely stunning.
And then we both became very excited as dolphins decided to join us.
Whoa! So the wind gods listened to us, and it was forecasted for no wind at all this morning, and the winds have picked up. So we've turned the motors off and we are sailing to La Manga. Yay!
So much for having no wind. We are flying this morning, absolutely flying. The wind has officially come today. We were expecting a really dull motoring day. I started cleaning up the inside of the catamaran and all of a sudden wind started coming. We've got about 12 to 15 knots of true wind at the moment, and I'm just trying to come up a little bit. We're trying to sail upwind. We had to bear away slightly to pick up some speed, catch the wind, get the sails set, and now we're just coming back. So we're at about a 50-degree angle to the wind at the moment. Typically all we'll get in this catamaran is about 50 degrees to the wind. But yeah, we're sailing, we're getting about 6.5, 7 knots, and that'll be fine by me. And as I continued tweaking the sails, we got closer and closer to the wind, hitting about 7 knots at 35-degree angle.
After a lovely morning sail, we're arriving into La Manga and we're heading into a spot where we can pick up a mooring buoy.
The mooring buoys are just over there in that bay. So we're gonna go grab one. We've got the whole place to ourselves. It's dead. It's about 15 mooring buoys here. We build them all to ourselves.
I took the helm as Andrew directed me towards the buoy. We've got a great system where the person on deck points to the buoy and counts down the distance as the person on helm brings the boat in. And just like that, we grab the mooring buoy and attach our starboard lines. We do the same on port. Quick check to make sure we're not going anywhere, and then it's time to relax and enjoy the water.
No, absolutely not.
1, 2, 3, go!
But we only stayed one night and left the next morning. La Manga has 2 sides, a side facing the Mediterranean and a much more protected side called Mar Menor. Because of all the protection, there's virtually no swell, so it's a perfect place to drop anchor for a couple of days. So that's where we're heading. So we arrived into Cabo de Palos last night. We picked up a mooring buoy because anchoring's not allowed there. And then we went and met Ruth's friend, Emma, who joined us for dinner. And she was our first guest on the boat, which was lovely to have somebody on the boat for the first time. We have set sail, or we've started motoring today. We're heading along the coast of La Manga at the moment because we're going to go and take a turn into sort of the main La Manga strip.
Yeah, so we are heading up north because the whole strip is quite protected from the sea. So if you know La Manga or look at it on a map, you can see all the way along. There's a strip of land and there's one small cut through that you can get into Mar Menor, which is via or past the marina, the Thomas Maestro Marina. But to get through there, you need to go under a bridge or through a bridge, which is a swing bridge, which opens every 2 hours. I'm a little bit nervous because I've never done anything like this before, where you have to wait for the bridge and kind of queue up. So we don't know exactly how it's going to work out, but we've done as much research as we can online and seen that it opens every couple of hours and you just have to kind of navigate through. So hopefully it goes very smoothly.
Yeah, we've got opening at midday at 12 o'clock. We're due to arrive at the bridge about 11:30. So we've got some time to scout it out, work out what we're doing before we head through. But we've got this. Yeah. Easy.
We headed along the Manga coast for another mile or so before the bridge and the entrance to Mar Menor came into view. And as the clocks approached midday, we started to make our way into the channel, along with a number of other sailing boats. I was skipper, so I took helm as we slowly motored through the channel.
Okay, we're just waiting for the bridge to open. You're allowed to enter the channel 5 minutes before it lifts. We're expecting the bridge to lift any minute now. We're probably 200-300 meters away from it. And the channel's chaos, honestly. It's a really narrow channel, and there are jet skiers, there are tourist boats, there's private boats. For such a small channel, it is absolute chaos. We have a bridge that's opening.
Our helm stations are at the stern of the yacht, so visibility can be a little tricky at times, especially trying to see the port bow.
And as the bridge opened, we were one of the first yachts through. And as we passed under, we got a glimpse of the onslaught of boats heading through from the other side. So I jumped to the bow to help call distances to Ruth as we headed through the channel. We couldn't believe the number of yachts passing us. There was a constant stream of everything from small 26-foot yachts to massive luxury 60-foot monohulls. Well, that was a crazy 10 minutes. I've never seen so many boats passing in a channel at any time. I think we must have passed, several, maybe 100 boats, 150 boats. The bridge lifts every 2 hours. So all the boats, there's a load of charter boats, a load of party boats, just all waiting, obviously, to get that break to get out. And it's a really narrow channel. We are quite a wide catamaran, we're 7 meters wide, and some of the monos were coming two abreast, and it was just really squeezing us tight to the edge. It was slightly uncomfortable. And then you mix in the jet skiers, who we're trying to pass port to port, and the jet skiers are cutting you off. They're going in and out. They're absolutely abiding no rules whatsoever. So that was slightly chaotic, but we're through. We are now coming through. We're passing Thomas Maestro, which is the main marina here. We need to go and get some water, but at this point in time, we're just going to get out, reset, allow all the traffic to die down so we can come back in and not have to fight against all these boats and the jet skis, just get some water. But yeah, that was an exciting 10 minutes.
And things got a little more stressful as we came into dock to fill our water tanks. Not only did we have to contend with docking in winds, but we also had to dodge ferries, charter boats, jet skis, as well as kayakers all at the same time. But we managed to get tied on and take in some much needed water.
How do you feel?
Stressed.
Relieved.
Done it.
And you?
We're in. It's busy. It's such a busy passage, or busy canal. There's a lot of boats to navigate, and it just seems to be a free-for-all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Once our tanks were full, we finally made it into Mar Menor. We're in, we made it, we got through the channel, we fought our way through all the jet skiers. We had to stop off at Thomas Maestro Marina to get some get water, so that is a disaster averted. We need our showers this evening, and that's the first time we've run our water to sort of a critically low level. We're now in this inside, it's the non-Mediterranean side of La Manga. I'm not sure what the sea's called, I'm gonna have to come back to you on that. I will check. But we're gonna head down towards an anchorage, we're gonna drop anchor, and then we'll go to shore. We need to get some laundry done, we're gonna go explore, we'll do some shopping, get some drinks, get some dinner, and we need to get some provisions as well. We need to go shopping because our fridge is bare. And the wind was so perfect. Ruth got our sails up and set them for a fast sail down to the south of the lagoon.
Lunch was prepped en route, and whilst Andrew and I were chatting about the best place to anchor, a small sailing dinghy off our starboard side looked like he was in distress. So we got our sails down and headed over.
Despite not being able to speak English, I quickly managed to ascertain that he had an issue and needed help. So I prepped the line and began to coordinate our rescue. Okay, road, come round to your port bow. We tried to communicate what we needed him to do, but the language barrier made things really difficult. He also had no way to collapse or drop his sail, which made the situation that much more dangerous. You tie on? You come on board?
We got him to the stern of the yacht, but he struggled to control his sail, and he continued to get dragged to our port side. But after a bit of yacht manoeuvring and a lot of sign language, we managed to begin towing him back to shore, keeping a close eye on our tow line to make sure it stayed well clear of our prop. And after 20 minutes, we began to get near to the shore and enter shallow water, so we agreed to let him off, and he confirmed he was happy to get back to the shore himself.
And then, just a couple of minutes later, we see him try to swim back to shore whilst dragging the boat behind him. So, we dropped anchor and sent our tender out to his rescue again. Goodbye, rescue party. Well, that was unexpected. We came into Manga and we were sailing for about half an hour, 40 minutes. We had some lunch. It was great sailing, actually. We had about 10 knots on the beam, and we were doing 6 or 7 knots. So it was great. We ended up sort of heading into wind to get to the anchorage we want for the night. So we dropped sails, and as we were dropping sails, we just saw this man flailing. It looked like he was waving at us. He wasn't using both hands in this sort of universal emergency help sign. He was just waving. So I was like Ruth, does he need help, or is he just very happy? Is he just excited to see us? So we went across and saw him, and yeah, he needed help. He's in like an inflatable sailing boat. It's like a paddleboard with a sail attached to it. And what happened, the wind and current had pushed him out about 2 miles offshore. And he can't sail upwind. He can't get himself back. So we threw him a line and we dragged him for about 20 minutes, half an hour. Dragged him best part of a mile and a half, 2 miles. And we were starting to get into really shallow water. We were about 2 meters. So we said, we have to let you go. We can't get to shore. He was like, yeah, fine, let me go. So we let him go, and we did another couple hundred meters in the boat and dropped anchor. And then all we hear is yelling and shouting. And we turn over and look across, and he's jumping in the water, trying to swim and drag his boat behind him, trying to get shore. And we're still about 500 meters from shore. We thought he'd just be able to sail upwind a little bit and zigzag and get to shore, but no, he jumped in, tried to drag it while swimming. To shouting for help again. So we've dropped the dinghy. Ruth and Emma have taken the dinghy to go and save him, and they're out just dragging him to shore at the moment. So it's taken about 2 hours, about an hour and a half of our day, but that's okay. I think the main thing is just making sure he's safe. I don't know how long he's been out there. It's really hot today. He's been really exposed in a sailboat for God knows how long. So I think he was happy to see us, happy to get a bit of help. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the girls to get back, and then we'll crack on the rest of our day. The rescue crew are back.
We are back with our Aperol Spritz. We've just had a quick chat with him on taking him back to shore. We found out he was Spanish, so there was a bit of a language barrier. He spoke a little bit of English. Unfortunately, we don't speak Spanish. But he had bought a boat from Decathlon, an inflatable dinghy. Bought it from Decathlon. It's his first time sailing, never had a lesson. He's gone straight out, gone straight downwind, and then couldn't get himself back up. So the poor guy, luckily he has been out there for 4 hours. He'd been waving to many different boats that didn't pick him up. He was just waving with one hand, so I presume they just thought he was saying hello like we did at first. But eventually, yeah, we stopped. We realised something was wrong. But we've taken him back. He's back on land, and hopefully he's learnt his lesson.
And after all that hard work, we were ready for a swim. Until we looked into the water, and oh my goodness, I have never seen so many jellyfish in my life. I don't think I'll be swimming today. Okay, so we've woken up to a couple more issues this morning. It always happens at night. I don't know why it's always in the morning we find these issues. Our head in our master cabin doesn't flush anymore. We've got salt water flushing toilets, and it's just not sucking any salt water through. So we need to look at that and sort that in a minute. But more importantly right now, our bridle has snapped whilst we're on anchor. So we're gonna go investigate and try and get that sorted. I think it's just a broken shackle. But Ruth's been deployed in the dinghy, she's gonna go round, and we'll try and get that fixed this morning. And turns out a shackle had come loose and fallen away from the yacht. But luckily, we have plenty of spares on board. Oh, big jellyfish. Watch the jellies. It was a quick fix, and we checked the other side just to be sure.
See, wasn't it? We unfortunately have no seawater coming in, so I need to check for a blockage. I feel like a surgeon, but I'm operating on a toilet. I don't think I look very glamorous right now, do I? And as we opened the inlet filter, all this gooey type liquid began coming out.
Goo.
And then we pulled out this transparent goo with a blue stripe, and I knew I'd seen this somewhere before. Yep, it turns out that we sucked a jellyfish into our toilet. And as we headed to the shore for a sunset dinner, we realised that it's not bridges or tight channels that we have to worry about. It's monster jellyfish and grown men on inflatable boats. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next week.